Kumusta to all our expats and tourists in Panglao, Bohol Island, and to all expats and tourists around the country. Today, I want to share to you one of the most essential things that you need to know before you go to the upper level of learning Visayan language. Now, this is very easy, simple, but you have to pay attention because this lesson that we have to tackle today is all about Filipino alphabet. Yeah, you heard it right. If you are a beginner learner of a certain foreign language, always consider yourself as a kid trying to learn a new language. And if you consider like that, then you will also consider learning Filipino alphabet. So this is why today I am very interested to share you the Filipino alphabet. And the purpose of this is to teach you, to help you learn, familiarize the sound of each letter, so that when we learn Visayan words, then it would be easy. It will enable you to pronounce the word correctly. But then again, we have to begin first learning the sound of each letter before we learn vocabularies, before we learn Filipino words. Okay. Please be informed that Filipino alphabet, we have only 20 letters. Yeah, 20 letters. So it's easy to learn our alphabet. These 20 letters, these are the letters that we use in our words to use in our daily conversation. Now, in writing, or all in all, we have 28 letters. Originally, we have 20, but we borrowed from other foreign alphabet, and these 8 letters, the additional, the extra letters, we never use them in our word for conversation. We only use them on our names, addresses, name of places, or whatever name except the words that we use to communicate each other. So today, let's only pay attention to learning the sound or sounds of 20 letters. Let's begin. A, ba, ka, da, I, ga, ha, I, la, ma, na, nang, u, pa, ra, sa, ta, u, wa, ya. Again. A, ba, ka, da, I, ga, ha, I, la, ma, na, nang, u, pa, ra, sa, ta, u, wa, ya. Is it easy? I know the most difficult part is the letter nang, especially when it forms into a word, and then you will start with the sound nga. That's the most difficult part for a foreigner to pronounce. But I will make a lesson on that, so don't worry. But if you can perfectly say the word in English, the English word sing, ring, bring, thing, then that's a good start, because the ng has this sound. The thing is, I know that it will be difficult for you guys to pronounce the ng when it is written in the beginning of the word. And that's the problem there. So that's why let's have that practice in our next lesson. But right now, let's focus on these 20 letters and the sounds. Now, let's get to know what are the Filipino vowels. And there are some information that I'm going to add about these vowels. And these vowels are A, I, O, U. Again, A, I, O, U. Now, if you observe the E and the E, or the E and the I in English, they have actually almost similar sound. And the O and the U, or O and the U in English, they have almost similar sound. Now, here are the information that I'm going to add. When you write the Filipino words, put them into writing using E or I as the first letter. Commonly, we don't use letter E as the beginning of our letter in a certain word. No. Commonly, we use the letter I or E in Filipino letter. And letter E is always placed in the middle of the word. It's always in the middle of the word. Except if we use the borrowed words, the Spanish word, like esquina, then we use the letter E. But if we use our own original Visayan word, we don't actually use E as the beginning of our letter in a certain word. No. We use the letter I or E in Filipino letter. So, please be informed that when making a pronunciation or a sound, if for example, our word starts with I or E, we don't actually say E. We don't pronounce. We just borrow the sound of E when our word starts with letter I. So for example, the word itlog. Itlog starts with letter I or E, and the sound should be E. So it should be correctly pronounced as itlog. But no, we don't say itlog. We borrow the E sound to pronounce the I or E into E only. So the word itlog should be pronounced as itlog because it started with letter I, but we pronounce that as itlog. You cannot really find a local person who will say, palit ko itlog. No, we just say itlog. Itlog. And that sound, itlog, is borrowed from the E sound. Now, the same with the O and U in English, or O and U in Filipino letters. Normally, when we use the original Visayan word, we don't place the letter O when it comes to writing. We don't place that into O. We don't place the O as the beginning of our letter. Instead, we use the letter U or U. But when we pronounce them, when we say it in our conversation, we borrow the sound O instead of using U. So for example, ulo, that's pronounced as U-L-O. We don't say ulo. No, We just say olo, olo. But if you spell it out, the spelling starts with U or U. So these four vowels, the E, and the OU, when put into writing, there is no such thing as E, there is no such thing as O as the beginning letter of a certain word. That is, if it is Visayan, originally Visayan word. But if it is borrowed from Spanish word, then the E and O can be placed in the beginning of the word. But in general, we use only the sound O and E when we speak. Even though the spelling is start with letter I or start with letter U or U. So for me, just don't bother to practice pronouncing E or U, because even the locals, we don't actually use that kind of sound. The itlog, no. We just say itlog. Ulo, no. We just say ulo. Even though ulo starts with letter U or itlog starts with letter I. So here are the tips. When you pronounce the word, the Visayan word, okay, these 20 letters, except the I and the U, all of those letters, or let's just say 18 letters, we pronounce or emphasize the sound each in a certain word. We don't have any silent letter in our Visayan word, because each of those letters should be pronounced accordingly, except the U and the letter, except the letter U and the letter I. We don't normally pronounce them according to their own sounds. We simply borrow the O sound for the letter U and the E sound for the letter I or letter E. But this 18 letters, we never miss to say each of the sound when we put them, combine them into words. Now, what are the example words for each of these letter? Okay, let's begin again from A. A, aku. A, aku. Ba, bata. Ba, bata. Ka, kamut. Ka, kamut. Da, dahon. Da, dahon. I, iskina. I, iskina. Ga, gatas. Ga, gatas. Ha, halas. Ha, halas. I, itlog. I, itlog. La, lapis. Lapis. La, lami. La, lami. Ma, mangga. Ma, mangga. Okay. Na, nanay. Na, nanay. Now, the letter nang, when it's formed into a certain word, the nang sound will change into nga, and this is a nasal sound. Nga. Nga. Okay, example of this. Ngalan. 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 And here's the very difficult of all word that you will actually encounter. The word ngilngig. Ngilngig. Ngalan. That's easy. But this word, ngilngig. Ngilngig. Okay, now let's not focus on that because I don't want to torture you in this lesson. So let's move on. O, oras. O, oras. Pa, pangalan. Pa, pangalan. Pa, pangalan. Ra, rihas. Rihas. Sa, saging. Sa, saging. Ta, tatay. Ta, tatay. U, ulo. U, ulo. Wa, wa. Wala. 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 Ya, yaya. Ya, yaya. And there's another word, my favorite swear, when I swear. Ya, yawa. Ya, yawa. It means devil. Practice this because when you pronounce the Visayan word, each sound should be emphasized. Each sound of the letter should be emphasized. We don't have a silent letter, no. Unlike in English, there are so many words that has silent letter, right? But Filipino or Visayan words, we don't have the silent letters. We pronounce each sound of the letter according to their specific sound. And so when you say a certain word, for example, kamot, then it is really kamot. Ka. Pronounce the K or ka. Pronounce the A. Pronounce the M. Pronounce the O. Pronounce the T or T. We don't say T. It is ta or T. Then say them all as one word, kamot. Nanay, pronounce each of the sound of the letters involved in that word, then you will have the word nanay. So, in short, Filipino or Visayan words don't have any silent letters. So that's all for today. Daghang salamat for watching. Cheers!